Officials have met to address an increasing number of criminal attacks in places of worship. Just last month, the Johannesburg pastor was killed during a service in Newlands. South African Council of Churches Gauteng executive member Tatatsedi Semengo says that churches are being targeted mostly during night services.
The church is generally concerned by the many attacks that have been happening in its premises by people, some pretending to be attending the service, especially at night, being part of the service, and then trying to observe the movement inside the church, and then calling their friends when the time is right. So that has been a concern for the church in general, and we see that it's happening regularly, especially during the night. And it's like they know which church to target, and they come mostly at that time when the people are busy. Although they are not suspecting because of people are coming to church, because churches remains open at all times. If the churches can at least try to minimize the evening services, but also to avoid using a lot of cash during services, if at all possible, to try and find a way to get the money to the bank somehow, just to minimize cash, because that's where the hit hard come around that time. But the church is facing a big challenge, especially with night services and prayer night and stuff like that. But we are saying to the church, can the church at least minimize the risk by minimizing the services at night?
Let's take a look at what police intelligence suggests. We're now joined by Colonel Brenda Muridili, who speaks for the South African Police Services. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time this afternoon. To your knowledge, is this something that is gaining momentum in the country, or has it always been a problem?
Afternoon to you and afternoon to the viewers. I can only speak to what is happening in Gauteng. And yes, we can confirm that our crime intelligence in Gauteng, they have an analysis, and it has appeared that this started happening last month. We had one incident in July, and last month we had about 3 incidents. It's 2 districts in Gauteng that are affected, Johannesburg with 3 cases and Ekurhuleni with 1 case.
And in those cases, we just know of that story of the one pastor prophet who actually passed away in Westbury, but have there been any fatalities that were reported?
There was an incident that happened in Diepsloot also, where in a robbery tent, after the robbery, the pastor and 3 other people were injured, but the pastor passed away as a result of the injuries that he sustained from the robbery. So those are the incidents that we have. Like I said, we for now only know of 4 that occurred in Gauteng, with 2 incidents that resulted in murder and 2 incidents that were only robbery.
Is this something that is of concern to the police, the attacking of places of worship in the country? Well, in Gauteng, I beg your pardon.
It is of concern, and the provincial commissioner has been appealing to the religious fraternity to consider trying and eliminating and no longer taking services at night, because we have realized that of these 3 incidents, of these 4 incidents, 3 of them occurred during night services and only 1 occurred during the day. So it is a risk, and he has also appealed to the pastors to work with the local community policing forums, because they have patrollers and whatnot, so that they can also increase the visibility of the police on the ground. Because with regards to this incident, the police can only increase patrols around those churches. They cannot necessarily be there to guard the services. And also, for the pastors and the committees of the churches to consider beefing up security at churches. We've seen how churches have ushers. You know the congregants of your church. If you see someone that is not familiar, you need to question them as to what is the purpose of the day. We know it's the places of worship. They cannot turn back people. But if they have any kind of suspicion, they must liaise with their local police officers, also with the CPF in the area.
So adopt different strategies, I guess. In terms of just the festive season, what is it that the police are most concerned about? So this is something that is new, that is springing up, where places of worship are being attacked. But what else do South Africans need to look out for?
During the festive season, we know that crime in Gauteng specifically, it increases. And we know that criminals in Gauteng are daring. most of these cases or incidents are violent in nature. We see an increase in our trio crimes, but we have launched in October, end of October, we have launched our Safer Festive Season campaign, which has resulted in more boots on the ground. You see, when it's during the festive season, members that are usually working in the offices will go outside and also assist to input the foot patrols to increase police visibility. We've also had our CPFs now, with the launch of the Festive Season, they've been given cars that have been marked with police colors. So that will also assist in increasing the police visibility in the area. And we also work together with other law enforcement agencies, as well as through the E2 project. That's an MOU that was signed between the SAPS as well as Business Against Crime South Africa. We also utilize the security guards to be our eyes and ears on the ground. So we're working together collaboratively as multidisciplinary forces to ensure that we have increased visibility on the ground and we have a lot more people that are patrolling the streets.
Speaking of other law enforcement agencies, on the weekend we were speaking to the MMC for Public Safety in Johannesburg, who mentioned that on the 19th of this month they're going to be launching a tactical unit as part of the Metro Police Services. And so there was an appeal that there's intimate collaboration between the South African Police Services and that unit that will be launched. Is this something that the police are aware of? And also, how should we also understand when you speak of tackling crime and involving other departments, the Premier of Gauteng launched is it called the Panya Panyas, or are they called the peace officers? How has that been faring in trying to beef up efforts in fighting crime in Gauteng?
Since the launch of the crime wardens, they have been working closely with the police as well as the Gauteng traffic. We also work very closely with Joburg Metro Police. Most of our takedown operations together with security companies as well as our crime intelligence. There is also one of the tactical teams from JNPB that also gets involved in those operations. So it's something that we are aware of, and it's something that it will be welcomed. Remember, with us, the more boots on the ground, the more visibility for the police, and then crime can be prevented.
A comforting thought, I guess, to residents. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Brenda Muridili speaks for the South African Police Services in Gauteng.